Hey everybody, Thrift Store Hacker back again. Today I'm going to build a DIY swamp cooler, or evaporative cooler. I showed you in a previous video how a swamp cooler works, and it's just a filter with water running through it and a fan pushing through that filter. So I'm going to use this drawer liner stuff that I got at the dollar store as the filter. I'm going to put a couple of layers and then I'm going to run water jets down the middle. I also have some 1/4-inch tubing that I can use to make the jets. Basically drill holes into the tube and cap off the ends. I also have this pump here. I'm going to change this out for another pump. There's this fan. It's a window fan. Really needs to be cleaned. And I think for my reservoir I'm going to use this big tote, so I have a big reservoir. So I cut a piece of foam, and this will work as the lid. It'll also insulate the container a bit. And I made a notch in it so my fan can notch in there and stand straight up. And then I can build a box around this and put the filter towards the end there, and hopefully that'll work out pretty good. To make my filter, I attached the webbing to this, I think it's like a cabinet frame that I had lying around. And I'm going to put 2 layers on each side, and I'm going to use this fitting that I built, which is a T-fitting with a couple of inches of that tube coming off of each side, and I'll drill small holes into the side of it, and that way I can block off the sides and it should shoot jets of water straight down between the 2 filters. And with a couple layers of the drawer liner as the filter, it shouldn't shoot too much water out of the outside of the housing itself. So hopefully that'll make it not leak too much. After finishing the jet assembly, I drilled a hole through the frame here to mount the water supply line, and I put bolts in the side of the jet assembly here to block the water flow, then drilled a whole bunch of little holes so water will spray all the way across this filter and completely saturate the filter. Another thing I'm going to do to direct the water flow, so I'm going to take this piece of drawer liner here, I'm going to wrap it around the jets, that way when the water's coming out it'll be directed more down towards the center of the filter. And it should keep everything pretty well saturated as it's running and provide a good temperature drop with the wind going through. So I put 2 more layers on the outside of this, and now we have the 2 layers on the top, 2 layers on the bottom, and that one in the middle to direct the water. So it should saturate pretty good if we have a powerful enough pump to run it. So I cut a hole in the foam board and mounted the filter, and then I used 2 more pieces of foam to make a channel. I also made a lid for the top of the unit. That should direct the air straight through the filter as we're running water through it. And now all I have to do is hook up the pump and get it ready to go. So the pump I was going to use does not provide enough pressure for the water to get up to the filter. So I'm going to use a 12-volt submersible pump, and that should provide all the pressure I need to run this filter, and probably a little extra. So as you can probably hear, I got the unit running right now. You can see a little bit of water running down it. It's running pretty good, but you know there's 5 different pieces of this webbing in there. I'm probably going to put 1 more piece out front here because you can feel a little bit of raindrops coming out from it. But I have everything hooked up and running off of a 12-volt battery right now. The house fan is running off an inverter. And as you can see on the inverter, we're pulling 74 watts. And then the pump itself is pulling about 48 watts. So you're looking at about 125 watts to run this whole system. And it's putting out a good amount of cold air right here. I'm actually pretty surprised at how well this works. But next video, I'm going to put this in the office, a little workshop down in the basement here. And we're going to run it for a little bit and see what kind of temperature we're going to drop we can get over, say, like an hour's time. But that's all I got for you today. Until next time, build stuff and have fun.